Good morning, everyone. My name is Aisha. Today, I'll be talking about migration and urbanization using South Korea as my case study and Australia as my home country comparison. But before we start, I'd like to ask all of you a quick question. Think about the last time you have to move to a different city. Maybe it was for university. Maybe it was because your family moved. Or maybe you're an international student studying here in Korea. Whatever the reason was, that's migration. And today, we're going to explore why millions of young people make the same decision. So for many of us, moving away from home is exciting. It means meeting new people, starting university, or finding a better job. But for many young adults, moving isn't simply a choice. Sometimes it feels like the only way to build a future. And before we look at South Korea, let's firstly think about why migration happens. Most young people don't leave home because they dislike where they grow up. They move because they believe another city can offer them a better future. That could mean attending a better university, finding a better job, earning a higher income, or simply build a different life. With large number of people move into cities, these cities continue to grow. This process is called urbanization. Migration and urbanization are closely connected. However, while cities grow, some smaller communities lose young people and opportunities, creating regional inequality. Across Asia, this has become one of the biggest social changes affecting young adults today. South Korea provides one of the clearest examples of this trend. Every year, many young people leave smaller cities and rural areas to move to Seoul. One important reason is that South Korea is highly centralized. Many of the country's top universities, government institutions, and the headquarters of major companies are located in or around Seoul. And today, nearly 50% of the country's population lives in the Seoul capital area. For many young people, moving to Seoul feels less likely a choice and more like a necessity. As more people move there, Seoul becomes even more attractive, creating a cycle where opportunities continue to concentrate in the capital. Although moving to Seoul creates opportunities, it also creates new challenges. One major issue is housing. As more people move into the city, housing becomes more expensive, making it difficult for many young adults to afford rent or buy a home. Competition also becomes much more intense. Young people compete for university places, internships, and jobs, often feeling the need to work harder just to keep up. This pressure can affect both physical and mental well-being. High housing costs and career pressure can also lead young people to delay marriage and starting a family, which is one of the reasons behind South Korea's low birth rates. At the same time, many young adults leave behind their families and hometown communities while cities continue to grow. Some regional areas experience population decline and fewer opportunities. To address this issue, the South Korea government has invested in regional development and moved some public institutions outside Seoul. However, many young people still believe the best opportunities remain in the capital. On the other hand, Australia looks quite different. Unlike South Korea, opportunities are not concentrated in one city only. Instead, they are spread across several major cities. For example, Melbourne has the University of Melbourne, Sydney has the University of Sydney, Brisbane has the University of Queensland, and even Perth has the University of Western Australia. Yes, even Perth. I know it's far away, but it's not just kangaroos living there. And because each major city has well-known universities, industries, and employment opportunities, so young Australians usually don't feel like they have to move to one particular city to succeed. Another important difference is government policy. Australia also encourages people to study and work in regional areas. Some skilled migration pathways provide additional benefits for people who choose regional Australia, helping support more balanced population growth. And of course, Australia still faces challenges such as rising housing costs, but opportunities are much less concentrated than they are in South Korea. When we compare these two countries, the difference becomes quite clear. In South Korea, many opportunities are concentrated in Seoul only, so moving there often feels necessary. And in Australia, opportunities are spread around, giving young people more choices about where to study, work, and build their future. Australia also supports regional development through government policies, while South Korea continues to face stronger population concentration in its capital. The same issue exists in both countries, but it looks very different because opportunities are distributed differently. As a result, both countries experience migration and urbanization, but the pressure on young adults is much greater in South Korea. I do think both countries can learn from each other. For South Korea, continuing to invest in regional cities and creating more education and employment opportunities outside Seoul could reduce the pressure on young people to move to one place. And for Australia, it is important to continue supporting regional communities, improving transport and affordable housing, and encouraging balanced development before population concentration becomes a bigger issue. Ultimately, young people shouldn't feel that they have to leave home just to have a bright future. Before working on this presentation, I mostly thought migration was simply about moving from one place to another. But after learning about South Korea, I realized it's much more than that. Behind every move is someone hoping for a better education, better career opportunities, or simply a better future. At the same time, millions of these individual decisions gradually reshape society. Cities become larger, regional communities become smaller, housing becomes more expensive, and competition becomes stronger. This comparison helped me realize that migration isn't just about where young people live. It's about whether young people feel that they have the real choices about where to build their future. Thank you so much for listening and thank you so much for your time. We should have a nice day.